Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Up to the Minute. Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, and we have a great lineup of guests to share lots of information about not only HCC, but the world of gaming with you. First off, though, I'm Nathan Hale. You may not recognize me, but I'm on the show all the time as the director behind the scenes. But I'm also the HCCTV production coordinator, and today I'm wearing Todd's cap as the host. With me today is Dr. Amy Tan. She's the HCC English Dean and Communications, or Dean of English and Communications Department. Amy, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing quite well. It's a Wednesday, middle of the week. You're going to get through it, and then weekends ahead. And how was your Halloween, by the way? You have a good time?
I did. It was kind of quiet. I had a couple of sick kiddos. So, but the neighborhood kids came out and they were adorable. So lots of fun. How about yours?
Yeah, I had a wonderful Halloween. It was a quiet night, but a good one. Now, a lot of people like to watch this show live, but sometimes they like to catch it later. Can you let people know how they can find us and watch us?
Absolutely. We are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on HCC TV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m., and that's Monday through Friday.
Well, today we'll be talking with a couple of people, including a Coleman nursing instructor, about clinical trials and screenings. Pam and Dominique, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes, so hold tight, grab a cup of coffee. But in the meantime, we are going to be taking this Gaming Wednesday to a very fun place that is near and dear to my heart. We're going to be joined by someone who's taken the love of Magic the Gathering to become a global content creator and streamer, host and producer, who's now traveling around the world. Taalia Vess, content creator, Twitch streamer, and host producer. Welcome to Up to the Minute.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to see you again and good to have you back.
Thank you.
As some of you may not be aware, but most of you likely are, long ago, though not a galaxy far away, there was a guy by the name of Gary Gygax who created a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And it took a while, but it crept out of the world of geekdom into the mainstream, thanks to shows like Stranger Things. But it also, in the early 90s, spurred on a guy by the name of Richard Garfield to create a card game called Magic the Gathering, which in its own right has blossomed and bloomed and grown into a worldwide phenomenon of a game. And with us here, Taalia Vess, she has taken that by the reins and created an audience all of her own. And I'm really curious. You came from gaming, did you not? From
Yes.
D&D, I should say.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been a gamer my entire life, growing up, in the early 90s with Nintendo, and then playing a lot of board games and tabletop games. And, I started collecting Pokemon when I was like 10 years old. I think that's around the time that came out. And then it led to my first D&D campaign, which I actually did for 2 years straight, every single weekend for like 10 hours on a Saturday. I dedicated my time to play D&D, and I absolutely fell in love with it. At the end of the campaign, my group had brought over a fat pack, is what they're called, but they were like, we're going to draft this game of Magic the Gathering. And because I had already prior knowledge of card drafting games and of course D&D, I was like, yes, let's try this. And I ended up doing really well, and I beat everyone at the table. And I was like, okay, this might be my game. And I have to admit, I haven't played D&D since. That was like a decade ago. And I really do want to jump back into a game of D&D, but Magic has just taken over everything.
I know the feeling. I played D&D since 1981, but once I got into Magic, it kind of took over for me. There's just something about it. But I do have to know, follow-up question, what was the set that you first cracked open?
Oh my goodness. So many people ask me that, and I literally cannot remember, and I probably should look this up, but I know there was like a dragon on it, and it was sometime around 2011.
A core set, maybe?
It was not a core set. So many people ask me that, and I literally cannot remember.
That's all good. So now you just got back. You were traveling, you travel all over, and you just got back from Vegas from Magic 30 festival celebrating the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. Tell us about that. What are some of the highlights from that event?
I mean, just seeing everyone, you know, people I've interacted on the internet with for the past 4 years, meeting them in real life, of course, is the highlight. That was incredible. The entire event was just like above and beyond. I mean, this is celebrating 30 years. So they had been planning this for a long time. They went all out. Everybody pretty much incorporated in the Magic space was there. Like one of my favorite streetwear clothing designers, Brain Dead, which they do like a lot of Magic like shirts and stuff. They were there. I was surprised to see them because they're like, I mean, it's kind of like high fashion, honestly. Like it's streetwear, but like they're fancy. So that was really cool. Oh my gosh. And they had these built out like extravagant sets, like sets from a movie, where I actually was, I was working and I was able to dress up as one of my favorite characters in the game. So they had 5 different sets and like 5 different cosplayers and people dressed up as the planeswalkers from those planes. So it was like really, really cool. It was awesome.
That is so awesome. So, and I saw some of those photos and I saw quite a few people that I recognize. I've not had the pleasure of meeting, but I certainly recognize them. Other content creators, cosplayers, familiar to those in the Magic the Gathering community.
For sure.
But now your Twitch stream, you've got over 16,000 followers. What's it been like seeing your creation grow like that and the response from fans and followers?
Oh, I mean, it's wonderful. Like getting the reassurance that you're doing something right and it's just doing something that you love and you're passionate about and you're like genuine about. And I think people just respond really well to like seeing someone that they can relate to as well, because we all like share this love for the game. So it's been really awesome to see it grow. And like, I feel like it's just getting started, honestly. I am hopeful that Magic will grow over the years. You're seeing that a lot with like the crossovers that are happening, like with the D&D crossover. And they just recently release a Transformers crossover, which I have a card of right here, but I'm actually not allowed to show it because it's not out yet. Actually, could I? They sent me one. They're like doing like a Transformers crossover now. And so I think it's going to be like introducing the game to a lot more people. It is owned by Hasbro now. So you're going to be seeing a lot more crossovers into those different universes. So also they're going to be coming out with a Netflix show. So hopefully that will kick off the popularity as well. And I've been making content for like 10 years, 4 years on Twitch that like I'll, you know, I think it's like worked up to this point to where it's really going to kick off. So
that is awesome. And you already talked about the crossover with D&D. I got to imagine you really liked to see that crossover between D&D and Magic.
I mean, yeah, they introduced cards where you can like do D&D type things like rolling dice and stuff. Like, of course, that's amazing.
So I am curious, back in the days of D&D, I don't know how extensively or how long you played, but did you ever experience any situations where being role-playing that character really brought you deeper into an understanding about an aspect of yourself that maybe you hadn't up to that point quite realized until you were able to step out of the role of yourself and into the role of another person?
That's a great question. I absolutely have. And it's really amazing when you like actually take the time to I guess, like be aware and like just think within yourself, like you will discover things for sure. If that makes sense. Like,
oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're like put in that position to where you have to make decisions and you really have to think about things and decisions that you're going to make. Like, yeah, it's great.
And a lot of like ethical and moral decisions you have to make in the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we only have a minute left here. I just want to rapid fire a few questions at you.
Okay.
Favorite Magic the Gathering color combination?
Oh, I'm going to go with blue and black.
Black.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Favorite character class in D&D?
I mean, wizards.
Wizards?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Magic format?
Commander, but a very, very close second is drafting. So limited.
Same. Yeah.
It's like, it's tie.
Mm-hmm. Well, Taalia, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was great talking with you. This is Taalia Vess, content creator of Magic the Gathering content, Twitch streamer, and host and producer of her own fantastic show. You can catch her show on Twitch, and you can also follow her on Facebook, Twitter, and elsewhere. We'll have information in our post after the show on where you can go to find Taalia Vess's content. Thank you, Taalia.
Thank you all. Have a great day, y'all.
And moving on, I'm going to pass things over to Dr. Amy Tan, who's got two other guests, great guests that are going to be talking about nursing and LVN program, as well as clinical trials. So with that, Dr. Amy Tan, please take over.
Thank you, Nathan. Yes, a very important subject. I just want to mention that if you are interested in learning more about Magic the Gathering and gaming, there's an excellent documentary on Netflix called High Score that sort of chronicles the history. So go check it out. And with that, I'm so pleased to welcome Pam Patterson, instructor of vocational nursing in the LVN program at HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences, and Dominque Guinn, bone marrow clinical trial participant and Journey to Better Health panelist. Welcome to the show, Pam and Dominque.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
To set things up for our viewers, the Center for Information and Study on Clinical Research Participation, CISCRP, is hosting an event Thursday, November 17th at HCC called Journey to Better Health. That's a mouthful, so we need you both to help us out. So Dominque, can we start with you? Why is clinical research important to you?
Clinical research is important to me because it saved my life. 11/15/2016, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, Ph positive, an aggressive form of leukemia. And I enrolled or participated in a clinical trial that, you know, as I said, it was trying a study drug called Iclusig or ponatinib, and that drug worked for me. So that is one of the reasons. And secondly, African Americans or Black people experience the lowest survival rate and the highest death rate from cancer compared to other racial and ethnic groups. Reasons being lack of care, medical mistrust, and cultural barriers. So that's why it's important to me, and that's why I share my story.
Well, we really are grateful for you to come here and share your story about this important topic and to shed light on this this trial and hopefully get people to come out. As a clinical trial participant, what do you want people to know about the clinical trial process?
A lot of people fear clinical trials because of the things that have been done in the name of science and medicine in the past. anytime that you mention that, you think about Tuskegee. But I want people to know that there have been systems put in place. For instance, the 1993 NIH Revitalization Act. But there have been things put in place so injustices like Tuskegee don't happen again. Now, the Revitalization Act was done so that more minorities would participate in clinical trials so that they could determine, the effect of drugs being, tried on people. So it's important to know that, drugs affect different races, ethnicities. They affect people differently. And our participation is important to make sure that you don't suffer adverse reactions from those meds. We know that African Americans and Hispanics are anywhere from 12 to 15% of the U.S. population. But depending on, the research that you look, in 2016, we were 7% of those that participated in NIH studies. Now, depending where you look, about 30%. But our representation in clinical trials will eliminate some of the disparities that we see.
And that's wonderful, wonderful to the hope that we'll be able to eliminate those differences. And I know that it's also gender, right? Men and women,
absolutely,
adults and children, particularly in leukemia and cancer. So this is truly wonderful work that you're doing. CISCRP is hosting an event on November 17th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the event is open to everyone. It's free of charge. It will be held, as you said, Thursday, November 17th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Houston Community College West Loop Conference Center. The address there is 5601 West Loop South. There will be free health screenings, different health organizations present, and then there'll be the panel discussion that I'll be a part of, where we're educating the public on the process and encouraging more people to participate.
And when you say participate, you mean you want to sign people up, right, for clinical trials or for bone marrow?
Well, make them aware of trials that may be, being conducted on whatever their disease state is, so they're aware of, and if they're interested in participating, that they can.
Excellent. Pam, let's bring you into the conversation. Why is the HCC LVN program participating in this event?
We're participating because it's good experience for our students, and also to teach the students how to how to be advocates for their patients, which are community people. So this is why we're there. We want to teach our students how to become advocates, because actually that's what they will be doing when they graduate. When they get licensed, they will be advocates for their patients. And this is a great arena for that to happen.
Why do you think education on clinical trials is important?
Well, I think that it's very important. Just think, if we didn't have penicillin, we would not be, many of us would not be here. So clinical trials are very, very important because it is a practice of researching for advanced nursing and medical care. You have to have clinical trials. You absolutely have to, in order to be able to treat specific diseases. And so it's very important.
And Pam, why would you encourage people to come to this event?
I would encourage the community to come out. I think what Dominque said was so very, very, very true, especially with African American and Hispanics. They're leery of trials, especially African American. So we know that our bodies are different and we respond differently. But getting back to your question, why would I encourage? Not only because they could get good information, but I feel like education is power. Knowledge is power. If you're, one of the things that we encourage our patients and we encourage our students to teach our patients is that you're in partnership with your provider, your healthcare provider. If you're in partnership, you have to know what's out there, what's out in the community, and be able to work with your provider to come up with a plan that you are comfortable with. And so in order to do that, you have to have those tools by going and obtaining knowledge. So you'll know what's going on in Houston. And also the screening itself is helpful because if you have not been screened, well, you have free screening there. And then based on what that finding is, of course, we don't hope that there's anything, but based on that, you can go back with the tools that you've learned from the health fair and talk with your provider.
This is such a critical event, and I'm so proud of HCC for hosting this event. And I know that if people come out, they're also going to be able to learn about the HCC LVN program. And I want to thank you, Pam Patterson, Instructor of Vocational Nursing in the LVN program at HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences, and Dominque Guinn for sharing your story with us this morning, bone marrow clinical trial participant and Journey to Better Health panelist. We'll have your info in our post after the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Dominque. Moving on now, we have some HCC news and announcements. First and foremost, the DEI Fall podcast is set for very soon this November. I believe we're moving it back from this Thursday to the following. But Dr. Donna Davis, the HCC Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Officer, has set the November DEI podcast to provide a dialogue for the HCC community. And that's from noon to 12:30 p.m. Monday, November 7th. And the topic is critical race theory. And that's with Dr. Felicia Harris of U of H downtown. If you want to find out more, we'll have a link in our post after the show. And moving on to Northline campus, we have a transfer fair going on.
That's right, Nathan. Over the next few weeks, Northline campus offers the opportunity to speak to transfer reps from visiting universities. Students can ask questions about their academic programs and learn about the transfer process. That's coming up this week, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday, November 3rd. UH downtown will be there. We'll have the link for more info in our post after the show.
And do you love art? I know I do. And the window is closing. This is the last opportunity this week through November 4th to catch the faculty exhibition of Sandra De La Rosa called Transcending Borders. It's being featured at the Faculty Art Exhibition of HCC Southeast inside the East Side Learning Hub Gallery. So last chance this week to catch out the works of faculty artist Sandra De La Rosa. So be sure to check that out. And if you like dancing, maybe art's not your groove, but maybe you like dancing, well, we've got something else for you.
Well, and it's more art, right? Dance is art. Come out to Central Campus. Consider this storyline. This is Dance Nation by Clare. I'm hoping it's pronounced Barron. Consider this storyline. An army of preteen competitive dancers plot to claw their way to the top at nationals in Tampa Bay. This Pulitzer Prize winning play is about ambition, growing up, and how to find our souls along the way. We want to let you know that Dance Nation, which contains adult language and situations, is not recommended for ages 10 and under. This play will be at 7:30 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, November 3rd through the 5th, HCC Central Theater 1. For more info, please email Michael Flanagan, which we'll also have in our post.
And also the Eagle Preview Open House. We have campus tours coming up here. Get more than a tour this Saturday. Meet with admissions, financial aid, transfer, and other folks about various pathways for your education. It's from 9 a.m. to noon, Saturday, November 5th. That's this Saturday. Mark your calendars. And it's at multiple campuses. So be sure to check our post after the show for more information.
And you can still register, students can still register for intensive sessions, even in November. We have the same 5 formats: online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, in person, and our hybrid labs. Also, I believe priority registration opened this week. So registration for spring should be coming up next week.
Well, everyone be sure to make sure you jump on and sign up for those classes quickly. You don't want to lose out on any opportunities on these classes. Get in early and get signed up. And that's going to do it for today's episode. But tomorrow, we will be having for Thursday Family Fun Day, the Museum of Natural Science, always a fun one. They'll be here to talk about the upcoming exhibition, Base Experiential Hollow Theater Dinosaur Discoveries. Who doesn't like dinosaurs? I mean, come on.
I love dinosaurs. They're my favorite. I think we should still ask people what their favorite dinosaur is.
Oh, yeah, that totally. It should be on dating bios, too.
Absolutely.
Favorite dinosaur. And
Veronica Reyna will be here to talk about voting literacy just in time for Election Day.
Well, thank you, Amy, for joining me on Up to the Minute, my first time hosting. So I appreciate you joining me today.
I'm so happy to be here, and you did a great job. It was fun to work with you.
You as well. And to all of you, our audience, thank you for tuning in once again. And we look forward to having you join us again tomorrow on Up to the Minute.